welcome back to the Ben Thomas Show. I am very excited to show you this old school figure now I've had in my collection for about 2 years. This being, of course, the Mark Hamill representation of the Joker from the TV show Batman the Animated Series. Now, this line came out about 2 years ago, I believe, 2 to 3 years ago, and most of the line since then has gone to secondary market and become very difficult to track down. This figure comes packed though, and as you can see, even just with the box art, with some of the items that are shown kind of through that display window in the clamshell, there's a lot of meat on the bone here. Even on the back of the box, it actually highlights the Batman figure that was originally released with this figure. Now, I've done a Batman video that I've posted next, so take a look at that, but the Batman is a little bit different. You don't get all of the head sculpts that you see on this box, which is damn unfortunate, because there are some funny ones, including that surprised Batman look. But again, here you are seeing the original logo and the way that even the lettering was styled. It just hits home with me. You know, getting him out of the box, seeing the figure just in the clamshell here, you see several different heads. You see a jacket, you see different arm colors, you see a dynamic figure stand, which for a figure of this price point, really, really good. He comes with multiple hands. This dynamic clear flight pole is really good, but it is kind of loose. I'm not going to lie. I've never actually used it with the figure because the Joker's not that dynamic. I would have rathered see this type of flight pole come with a Batman, but it doesn't. So the way she goes, this stays in the box for the most part, or I may pair it with my Batman. Some of the accessories the guy comes with are just highly detailed. Again, for the price point, I think it's awesome. Like, look how cool the Joker face looks on this gun. It's hilarious, and you even see the barrel of the gun coming through the teeth, which I think is really, really just a nice little detail. The painting on the gun itself, not so great. It's pretty much just gray plastic. But even with this gun that has the bang flag, again, the flag itself that's popping out of the gun is actually really nicely painted. I'm not sure why they did such a lackluster paint job on the gun itself. But again, if you have some hobby skill, I'm sure people could make that thing look way more realistic than we're seeing here. Gives you a bit of a blank slate. This inflatable duck raft, I want to call it, or duck inflatable, is hilarious. I mean, he actually slips over the Joker's waist. You can put it around the Joker, which I think is really fun. I don't remember the scene from the original series that features this accessory, but who cares? I mean, just in terms of having it as an accessory in the box, I'm all over it. The grenades that come with this figure, I think, are the creepiest little grenades I've ever seen. Look at how that is painted. I mean, ugh, it gets me chills. But you know what? It's got the Joker face, and I love it. Now, there are a crazy amount of head sculpts with this figure, considering the price point on him. The head sculpt with that fedora hat, to me, reminds me of The Killing Joke, when he shows up to Barbara Gordon's apartment and essentially paralyzes her. It's just creepy. This is that maniacal laugh that, you know, Mark Hamill has and has really made that iconic character for the Joker. This is just a creepy expression. Probably wouldn't use this one, not gonna lie. This is such an iconic face from the animated series. I love it every time Batman foils the Joker. And I think what this figure does really well is just expresses or conveys all of the emotions that Mark Hamill was able to bring as a voice actor into this character. I mean, I can look at this head sculpt and hear the voice. I can hear the laugh. I can hear that suspect opinion or thought process that the Joker is undergoing. It's great. For the price point, it's so recommended. Now, I do want to show a little bit about how the figure works, because if you do get a chance to get your hands on it, I want to make sure you don't accidentally break the figure like I've seen other folks do. So just so you guys are aware, in order to get this jacket off of the Joker, his arms do come out at the sockets. So they just pop out, some of them a little easier than others. I do caution you guys around the pegs. The more that you do this, the more those pegs will get loose. And eventually, the jacket really starts to force those arms right out of the sockets. So just be a little bit careful when you're pulling them out. Maybe even try and heat it up similar to what we would do with the Hot Toys, just to make sure that you're not damaging that plastic and kind of wearing it down slowly over time. The purple arms that come obviously with the figure, this is typically how I display this figure in terms of the jacket. I feel like this is the most iconic look for the Joker in terms of the purple suit with the yellow shirt underneath and that blue tie. And it is worth noting that they have actually re-released this figure. So this is again the original version of the character from the animated series. The newest re-release that's come out is coined Batman the Animated Series The Adventures Continue line, but it is a different shade of purple for the suit jacket and the pants. The new figure, which has been re-released, is a much darker shade, almost more of like a plum purple in comparison to this light, kind of grayish purple that we get here. So if you see this figure on the secondary market, if he comes in the yellow packaging or he comes in the Adventures Continues line, that's actually the newer release of this figure, not the older generation. Now lastly, I think it's important to note that the articulation on this figure isn't so great. He does have some pretty noticeable joint sections, so you can kind of see where his legs move, how they bend. Having that figure base, that circular figure base, I think is really important for this figure because his feet are so narrow that he does not really want to stand very well on his own terms. The jacket, or the suit jacket itself, also gets in the way of some of that articulation, as you can see, but you can still get some pretty excellent poses in terms of how far back you can flex the legs. The hands have a rotating joint. They are on some very small wrist pegs, so please be very careful. Again, I recommend heating those up before you swap them out. The head does tilt upwards, downwards, side to side, and kind of, you can creak his neck a little bit to make him look a little funny, especially with his face if you want to. Overall, I would say for this figure, I would give him, honestly, a 9.5 out of 10. I think for me, it looks exactly like how I would expect the animated Joker to look like from the animated series. I can hear Mark Hamill's voice in this figure when I look at it. I think it's so worth the money. But if you missed this original release, I would say go for the new figure that's come out, the reissue. It's a much better price point than what you'll find this figure for on the secondary market. You won't get a lot of the accessories that this particular figure comes with, so if that's important to you, then of course pursue the old one. But if you just want a cool representation of the animated series Joker in your collection, I do think that the Batman The Adventure Continues line is a good route to go. Just get it soon, because once they go secondary, it might be hard to find later. But I want to turn it back to you. What do you guys think of this figure? What do you think of this animated series line? If you like the video, leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Please like the video, please subscribe if you haven't, and I will catch you on the next figure discussion. Thanks, everybody.